Yo, what is going on, boys? So I got my guy Andy Diaz right here. He's one of my guys killing it in the community. I want you guys to kind of hear like a zero to hero come up story. Andy, like, where'd you start out, bro?
Yeah, bro. So I started out, working at Taco Bell, bro. It was terrible. 60 hours a week, bro. My mom was in the hospital, broken back 3 places, 2 surgeries. One, she almost died, and one, she was almost paralyzed. It was really bad. Then I came to you, bro. I was like, I need to get out of this, bro. I had to get 1K borrowed from my brother just to be able to afford the program. Got on and went all in, back against the wall. If I don't pay the bills, who is? You know what I mean? I was in the hospital for 3 months and went all in. And, I'm not going to say overnight success, but I went all in and, you got to pay your dues. And I kept going, never gave up. There was a time I actually almost gave up and called my technical college and quit. I just kept going, bro. Mm-hmm. By the time that appointment came wrong, I dropped out, went all in, and now I'm on track to make $50,000 this month, bro. And
Damn. Yeah. How old are you, bro?
19, bro.
This motherfucker looks like he's like 25. When he told me 19, I was like, what the hell, bro? But talk to him about the mentality, bro, because a lot of people have the same exact position as you. You know what I mean? They want to help their mom. Their mom's working 3 jobs. But they don't have that hero mentality. They're kind of like, oh, I want to help my mom, but they're not doing shit. What do you say to those people, bro?
Because a lot of people say, I'm all in, I want to do this, but they're not all in. They're not willing to do whatever it takes. I don't have an off button. I don't have an off switch. I go all in every single day. And it's because I put my mom, my brother, everyone on my back, my whole family on my back. And when you put that type of responsibility on you, there's no way you can fail. It's like either I do this or what's going to happen to my family,
Yeah, that's good. So it was more of a selfless thing for you. Was it like, did you have materialistic desires more, or did you want to take care of family? Like, what was your main motivation, bro?
My mom, bro. I see my mom, slaving away at a job, full-time, overtime, 25, 30 hours of overtime. She was working like 70 hours a week, and especially after the whole back issue and her back being broken now, bro. Like, I do everything, honestly, for my mom, and then cars, the high rise is cool, but it's for my mom for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I come from like a single mother household too. So my mom raised me and my 2 brothers. She adopted them. My dad passed away when I was like 8. Were you given that responsibility by somebody else, or did you just take responsibility and say, hey, listen, I love my mom. I'm going to make sure I get rich for her and give her the best life possible?
Yeah, so my parents had a very ugly divorce. Very ugly. Did not go out well. So it was up to me to become the man of the house. My dad was not in the picture. It was up to me. So yeah, I took the responsibility upon myself to take care of her and take care of everyone in my family, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's awesome, bro. And talk to him, like, you went from working at Taco Bell to collecting $50,000 a month, bro. Like, what's that come up like in real time? Like, how does that feel to go from, Taco Bell a year ago to where you are now, bro?
Honestly, it's life changing. But the biggest thing you notice is just being able to take care of your family, being able to take, your mother, your girlfriend out to dinner and just not have to look at your bank account, being able to tell your mom, I got you with the rent. You're paying a high rise 4 or 5K a month for rent. You can still tell your mom $3,000, $5,000, just pay all her bills. But definitely the biggest thing you notice is just being able to do whatever you want and not have to look at your bank account. Because I used to be stressing. I used to count my range on my car to get places. I was so broke, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And how does it feel though? Like, now you're the man, now it's your responsibility to take care of your girlfriend, your mom. Like, how does that feel, like, as a man now when you go to sleep at night, bro?
Honestly, I feel like now I really am a man. I feel like back in the day, when I was broke, I said I was this man. But I always believed I was going to become this person. It was only a matter of time. There was a little bit of lag, but I always knew I was. So now that I really am in real time, feels good. It's about time.
Yeah. It's like a fucking full circle, bro. So the people watching this, you aren't a man yet if you're not taking care of your mom, if you're not taking care of your girlfriend, if you're not taking care of everybody that's directly around you. I say the women too, you know what I mean? Like, my brother will call me up and ask me for shit. I'm like, bro, you're a full grown man. But like my mom, you know what I mean? Like, any type of female figure in your house, like, it's selfish as hell to not want to be rich. Selfish. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes are like, oh, money's not that important to me and this is that your mom's breaking her back working 3 jobs. You know what I mean? So for me too, I just got pissed off. Like, I saw the amount of confidence or self-image that my mom had, and she didn't feel like we deserved much. And she's like, oh, Vincent, there's other people out here that have this stuff. Sometimes this stuff isn't for us. And I was like, fuck that shit. I was like, this shit is for us, and I'm going to show you in time. You know what I mean? I probably send my mom like $10,000 a month on average now. And she's like, Vincent, thank you for taking such good care of me. And I'm like, we're just getting started. Your life is only going to get better and better. So everybody watching this, your mom should be given a salary of raising a G son. You know what I mean? Like, that's the number one goal. But what's your goal now?
Bro, my goal now is definitely retire my mom, bro. I have a lot of goals, materialistic goals, but the main one is at least buying her a car. That's definitely next. So before I get anything, Lambo, anything, it's definitely buying my mom a car, 100%.
Yeah. I saw a fucking reel, and it was like a reel or it was a quote.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you ain't retired your mom yet, there's nothing to flex yet, big dog. And I saw that before I retired my mom. And I was like, fuck. I was like, that's facts. You know, I'm flexing like maybe a cool car or this, that. But like, that's the moment everything comes full circle. When I retired my mom, bro, I called her up. I had made $70,000 in like 3 weeks from online coaching. And I'm like, hey, mom, do you want to work? She's like, oh, Vincent, I already have 2 jobs. She thought I was giving her a job offer. You know what I mean? I was like, no, do you want to work still? And she's like, well, Vincent, oh, well, I never thought about that. This feels uncomfortable. Let me get back to you. Then she called me up like 24 hours later. She's like, hey, you know, this job at the school is kind of hard and difficult. And then I started paying her ever since. And she just travels. She'll send me like, hey, I'm in Sedona now. You know, hey, we just went to Puerto Rico. We went here. Like, that's the best thing in the world, bro. But what was your drive outside of that? Because there's a taking care of the family aspect. Did you ever have a mission of proving people wrong? Did you ever have anything like that?
100%, bro. So I'm not gonna say specifics, but definitely part of my family always criticized me, man. Always said that this kid's left behind. This kid's not gonna make it anywhere. This kid, he dropped out of school. He's gonna be behind everyone else. And now when I smack 5, 10K days, I look at them like internally, and I'm like, yeah, who's behind now? You know what I mean? Who's smacking 5, 10K days? You guys are making that in a month after 4 years, all that school debt. Look at me now. You know what I mean? So I definitely always had a chip on my shoulder to prove people wrong. For sure.
Yeah. You know, when I first started doing online coaching and like fitness programs, we went to a Christmas dinner. And, you know, my grandparents, my aunts, you know, my aunts were very nice, aunts and uncles. My grandma is a little bit outspoken. And she went, huh, that's funny. It looks like Cameron's the only one that graduated high school. And I was like laughing. I'm like, haha. And over time, you know, you take those things. I was like, I love my grandma, but I got to fucking prove her ass wrong. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm going to take it personal now. So like all those things, all the setbacks, the trials, the tribulations, if it doesn't get to you, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If water gets into a ship, it sinks. If water doesn't get into the ship, it stays afloat. So I used all the negativity, all the you can't do this as drive and as fuel and as fire to get to the current position I am now. You know what I mean? So did you have friends? Like when you first invested in self-development, bro, did you have friends that were like, Andy's stupid, Andy's the method, Andy's this, that?
Yeah, bro. I had guys telling me, oh, it's a scam. That's just under course. So all the things you hear online. And then I'm like, nah, bro, I actually fuck with this guy. I trust him. And I went all in. Oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. And now all those motherfuckers don't even talk to me, bro. You think when I moved out and I have the CA and I'm in the high rise, anybody congratulating me? No. It's because people want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. Once you do better than them, it's like, no, I hate this guy. I'm envious of this guy. Yeah. But like, if I've stayed humble the whole way through, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Everybody gets that too, bro. I had people telling me when I first invested in self-development, bro, you're the method and this, that, bro. I made a story the other day and I said, you know, a poor man will find a problem with every opportunity. A rich man will find opportunity in every single problem. And it's a change of perspective, and then you bend reality. So I've always found, you know, an opportunity in every single problem. So like I said, when I invested in self-development, bro, even my mom was like, hey, you know, Vincent, be careful with this guy and this, that. But you have to see who you're learning from as well. Where like you investing in me, bro, I've made millions of dollars at 21 years old. I have 3 supercars. I could buy 3 more, but I want to check out Dubai first. It's like you got to see who you're learning from, you know, because a lot of people will tell me like, oh, that dude's just a course seller and this, that. Like I said, I've made millions of dollars at 21 years old. I have 3 supercars. I live in a penthouse. I could buy 3 more. Go, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to get to a point too, and you're going to see this over time. I don't even need money. It's not that I don't want money. I just wake up. Like yesterday we made like 60,000. Today we're on track to the same exact thing. And it's just like money flows to you. It's like a vibration. It's a standard of living as well. So like, you hit certain revenue targets too. Like what would you say, you know, on the technical side, what would you say is the biggest thing that took you from just starting out? Because I remember when you were at 5K a month, now you're at like 50,000 a month. Like what was the biggest switch for you 10xing your income?
Mindset, bro. Mindset 110%. I never had an off button, like I've said, and I just never give up on my dreams, bro. And the main thing is the mindset of transforming yourself into the person you want to be. I read so many books, and the main thing, it says it all over the Bible, I'm very religious, that if you truly believe you are that person, it's only a matter of time. Yes, there's lag. If not, everyone to be successful. Everyone to be where we are. But I just went all in. I believed in myself. I said, I am this guy that makes 50, 100K a month. Now we're at 50K a month, 100K a month is next. That's it.
Bro, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. And funniest thing you said about time, bro, there's a concept in Power of Awareness. And it said that time is just an illusion. Like the past and the future are both illusions. All we have is the present moment. So the separating factor between you and your goals isn't time itself. It's the strength of the belief. You know what I mean? There's a Bible verse that kind of says like, because of his faith, it will happen. That's how success works too in every single area, like financially, physically, whatever area you want to say. By the strength of your faith, it'll happen. And the man that believes he can do it and the man that believes he can't, by the strength of their faith, that's the difference in result. Even if you gave them the exact same blueprint, even if you gave them the exact same amount of work ethic, the energy that they show up with has to be in vibrational alignment. You know what I mean? So what would you say to those people that have doubts and fears? They want to start online coaching, they want to get in shape, they want to succeed in any single area, but they're struggling with doubts. What would you tell that person, bro?
I would tell that person, bro, you're wasting your time thinking negative, bro. Whenever a problem comes to your life, why are you thinking negative? Like so many guys quit before they even start. But what if it goes wrong? No, bro. Immediately, if you have a problem, any financial situation, think, okay, why is this happening to me? What can I take from it? Okay, what's the solution? So many guys think about all this negative stuff. No, bro. What's the solution? Rich people don't think about all the negative stuff. No, they think about what's the solution? How am I going to solve this problem? And that's it. It gets solved. It's that simple, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Bro, that's actually deep what you said. So like problems themselves are inevitable. Negativity to that problem is a choice. A lot of people have a problem and they think it's a direct response to be negative. Man, I had $250,000 snagged from my account the other week. And I didn't go, well, they took $250,000. What did they do? And this, that. I went, okay, how am I going to solve this? Boom, bank, boom. Okay, I have 2 banks, transfer funds, payout fails. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a problem solver, and that's why I'm able to succeed too. But what people don't understand is the problem can happen. Positivity and optimism is also a choice. Problem solving, like you said, is also a choice. One thing I learned that from was video games, bro. I always say that I was like a fucking try-hard Fortnite player. I'm talking about I had controller thumbsticks. Like, I had a PC on controller set up. I'm fucking using all these cheat codes. So, like, I look at entrepreneurship and life the same exact way. A lot of people, they have doubts and they have stress because they're too involved in life and they don't take a step back and go, this is a game, bro. This is like a simulation where I can wake up and pretty much do whatever. I always say that it's not that winners don't have doubts and fears. It's that winners still perform even in spite of their doubts and fears. And winners are also able to shift their perspective of their fears, where my biggest fear wasn't failure. My biggest fear was staying average. You know what I mean? I don't know what they call that term, that you pop up on the screen. But yeah, bro, you have any siblings, bro?
Yeah, my older brother, yeah.
Older brother? What does your older brother think now that you're killing it, bro?
Honestly, bro, he's still in shock, bro. He doesn't believe it because, just a few months ago, I was like, that ass. I was struggling. I came to you and I was like, yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I've had a bad month, this and that, bro. I was thinking about trading in my car, all this shit, bro. I told my brother, he was like, nah, bro, keep going, bro. He was like, you gotta keep going. You got this, bro. Trust. So it's really good to have people that believe in you even when you don't. But the biggest thing is believing in yourself. And I was like, all right, bro. Now look at me now, high rise. He's about to see it tomorrow. He still doesn't believe it, bro. The all success I've come through. So definitely, bro, when you have your family behind you, or even when they're against you, bro, you're not proving them wrong. You're proving them right because they believe in you. They just don't understand what you're doing, bro. That's why I think it's a scam.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. There's another perspective too, where like when you're in the gym, you know what I mean? When you're lifting weights and you want to build muscle, you have to feel weak first. If you're learning something new, you have to feel stupid first. Same thing with entrepreneurship. The main principle of this is growth can only be found outside of the comfort zone. You know what I mean? If you're comfortable, you really can't grow. Like you get in that car, bro, I was like, get the fucking car. You know what I mean? Get the new iPhone. Get everything you need to grow and build yourself and build your brand. Because it's that discomfort that'll force you to grow. If you're too comfortable, I'm against people saying upgrade your income, don't upgrade your lifestyle. Because me upgrading my income and then upgrading my lifestyle forced me to keep the ball rolling. And I had to keep growing and growing to where eventually now I wake up and make more money than I can possibly spend. It's like you go on so many vacations, you buy so many supercars, you already bought a penthouse. What else is there to buy, bro? You know what I mean? Like that's the game that we're playing. So I think that in pursuit of materialistic desires, bro, you're able to take care of your family too. So a lot of people starting out and they're hypnotized. They think, money's the root to all evil and this, that. The love for money's the root to all evil. You know what I mean? Like if you just love money itself and you give up your morals, that's the root to evil. But money itself is an evil. So when you get rid of all those limited beliefs and you just grow, bro, that's when success comes. Did you ever go to college, bro?
Dropped out the day before I started. Yeah, literally.
Day before you started? Damn. Okay, what was the mentality? Because a lot of people here are going to college and they want to land a degree and get a good job. Like what would you say to that person?
Very similar to your story, bro. I was so uncomfortable. And I texted you about it too. I in such a voice and I was like, bro, if I sign another paper, if I fill out another form, do another homework assignment, I'm not gonna make it to the end of the year, bro. I'm not gonna do it, bro. I'd rather not be alive than sign another sheet, any homework. I couldn't do it. So that's when I said, you know what? Either I do this or I end up homeless. But either way, like, I'm not going to school. It was that level of discomfort. That's what, like you said, you have to be so uncomfortable. You have no choice to grow. So there can't be any plan B. I burned all the bridges, school, everything. I went all in. And as soon as I got the ball rolling, quit my job. And that's it. I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, like what makes something valuable? Scarcity. It's scarcity. You know what I mean? The reason a Rolls Royce is a flex when you see it on the road, you see so many other Hondas and different cars. But if everybody has a college degree, the reason the pay for the job is always going to be low and rarely ever going to exceed 7 figures a year is because everybody has one. The person that is hiring and firing at that job is going to go, okay, if he's not doing his job, I'll fire his ass. I have another guy that will. And when I thought about the number one profit margin business, I looked up how much do colleges make a year, bro? They make trillions of fucking dollars a year. So people call us, you know what I mean, the info product, the scam, and course seller, and then they'll go sign their life away for $200,000 worth of student loan debt and work the next 10 years to be break even. Bro, I'm trying to get you out of the scam. What the fuck do you mean the scam? You know what I mean? Like, but internally, you know, like my intuition told me, nobody else had to tell me. I was like, wait, why am I mindly doing this? The opposite of success isn't cowardice, it's conformity. Everybody wants to be like everybody else. So everybody goes to college and everybody gets a job. And I was like, if I don't want to live like everybody, then I'm not going to do what they do. You can't end up rich and successful listening to average people. You can't drive a Rolls Royce listening to Honda drivers. So as much as I respected my family, even the ones cracking jokes, oh, he didn't get a college degree and this, that. I was like, well, they just don't have the results. So I'm not going to get offended. I'm just going to prove them wrong. You know what I mean? So do you have, like, you still speak to your dad at all?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. What does he think, bro?
Never congratulated me, nothing. He hasn't told me anything yet, to be honest.
Yeah. And you think it's like an ego thing? Like you think it's because, oh man, Andy's making more, I don't want to say anything. Like,
I think it's just, you know, when you're a distant father, you just get used to not having your sons in your life. And it's like, that's what I've always been, man. I've always had to give myself the pat on the shoulder. And how you do that is by proving everyone else wrong and just keep going forward. So now when I get the Lambo, now that I moved out, it's like, that's like the pat on my shoulder. It's the reward of myself. It's everything I keep achieving. And, you know, recently I sent my mom $3,000, you know, paid for her rent. So that's the pat on my back. I don't need my dad. I don't need anybody else.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. So like, talk about that, bro. Because I grew up without a father figure most of my life too. Dad passed away when I was 8. Like, what's the mentality too? Because a lot of people in that same boat, like no father figure, they'll use that as an excuse. They'll go, oh, well, I didn't have a male role model growing up. I didn't have my dad in my life, and you have this and that, and you don't understand me. Like, what do you say to that guy? No father figure, just, you know, himself.
Bro, become your own father figure. Become the message. Become the leader in the house. Become the man of the house, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so many people make the excuse of, oh, I don't have a father figure. Well, you become the figure of the house. You become the one that leads. So many people, grown men in their 20s and late 19, they're letting their mother tell them what to do and what to invest in. Why are you letting a woman tell you what to invest in? You're the man. You're the leader. You need to be the one taking the leaps forward because you're the one that's going to retire your mom. You're the one that's going to take care of, you know, your girlfriend. So why are you letting them tell you what to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A man leads. It's biblical. You know what I mean? Your mom's not going to be able to tell you how to get rich. Like the number one thing that I realized, like, you know, a lot of dudes come to me and they're like, I want to retire my mom. They'll be like, cool, bro. Here's the blueprint. You know, course seller. No, I'm a blueprint dealer. I'm like, here's the fucking blueprint that's going to get you to success. Bro, then they get their mom on the phone and their mom's like, hey, I don't think you should do this. But mom, I really want to do it. Yeah, that mentality ain't retiring your mom, bro. The mentality that's retiring your mom, as much as my mom cried, I was like, I'm going to fucking retire you, and it doesn't even matter. My mom was like, oh, Vincent, you can't drop out, and would your father want this and this, that? I was like, I'm going to fucking make it happen. It's conviction at the end of the day. As much as you love your mom's going to hold you back. As much as you love your dad, too, your dad's going to hold you back. That's why it's a blessing and a curse to not have a present father figure. Because I didn't have a father figure most of my life, and I looked to other male role model mentors. You know, I'm like, okay, this dude has a Rolls Royce. He looks pretty successful. Let me listen to him. That dude has this. That dude's a billionaire. Let me listen to that guy. And it's just, it's a combination of energy and exposure. When you simplify everything, everything's energy. Like the fucking chairs, energy, the mic's energy. Everything's moving at small vibrations. If you just cling to the vibration of success, even if you just stay around it. I used to go to the Rolls Royce dealership. I'm like, let me sit in the cars. I used to go on Zillow and fake my income and tour mansions. I just wanted to be around the energy. And as soon as I got more around it, bro, it started to become me. Like the biggest strategy to modern day wealth creation is moving. Like go to Miami, go to places you see young money, go to New York. New York's a little bit older, go to Dubai. Like go to these places and soak in the energy and just relax and sit there. And it's gonna start to become you. You know, like the same way that Miami may be expensive to you at first if you never moved here is the same way like Bali might feel cheap. You're just on a certain standard because of your surroundings. So my goal wasn't move to Bali and everything's cheap as fuck and I'm not forced to grow. My goal was let me go to the highest difficulty zone and I'm gonna force myself to grow. You get what I mean? Like that's the winning mentality. So like, do you, like obviously you're fucking winning, bro. Do you like when you get a challenge or an obstacle or stress? Like there's a part of you like, fuck yeah, bro.
Bro, I love that shit, bro. Whenever I have a challenge, like unexpected, I gotta drop this money on the car, this happened. Bro, my roof went flying the other day. Last week, I forgot to latch it. I was hungry as shit. I went to dinner. My roof went flying and hit a Toyota. I was able to, all right, your bumper, probably like $1,000. He started like, I'll go to the insurance. I'm like, oh, here's $3,000, bro. Like, get out of here. Boom, paid him. Boom, bought a new roof. It's that simple. Like, you know, but I also see it as like, holy shit, I can do this, bro. Back then, you told me to pay $6K in a day. I'm like, what the fuck? But now I make double that in a day. So it's like, I love challenges, bro. Bring them on, you know what I mean? Because God only tests you to strengthen you. Mm-hmm. So a lot of guys see challenges, they're like, oh, why is this happening to me? No, bro, let's do it. I find it fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, bro. Yeah, funniest thing, bro, I came home, you know, I was being driven in the Phantom, bro. I come home, I see my SVJ, I see the Urus. I noticed there's a boot on my girl's Urus, bro, the one I bought for her. And I was just laughing at it. You know, we drive up, my driver's laughing too. And we go to the valet area and he's like, hey man, $80, $80. I was like, $80. I was like, okay, here, you know. And he's walking me to take off the boot. And he's like, man, you should have parking spots. You should have this. What's going on, man? I was like, I fucking bought this car for my girl. But the biggest inconvenience to me getting a boot on my car isn't paying the $80. It's walking to go take it off. Like that's the level of money you get to where you're making so much cash that your human hours are worth too much for little tasks. Like I'm a big advisor of when you start making money, bro, remove yourself from every repetitive task. I don't drive anymore if I don't want to. I don't walk my dog if I don't want to. I don't cook my own food. I don't make my own coffee. I don't really do anything. Like, you know what I mean? And that's delegation. Like as soon as you get rich, your number one goal should be buying your time back. And then you can use that clarity and that mental space that you have to continue to grow more. But people think it's about money, bro. They think like, oh, these dudes are money hungry and it's all about cars and money. It's an endless loop, bro. It's about growth itself. Because at every single level, you're either growing or dying. You know, somebody could be going from 1,000 a month to 2,000 a month to 3,000 a month to 4,000 and growing. And that person could be more happy and fulfilled than the billionaire who's been stuck in the same spot or slowly declining. Happiness is a choice no matter what level you're at. You know what I mean? I've experienced that firsthand to where you got to enjoy the fucking ride, bro. You know what I mean? You got to enjoy the ride. You got to enjoy where you're going, bro. Talk about, bro, you got a fucking Corvette C8 at 19, bro?
Yeah.
At 19 years old, bro. How did that feel, bro?
Bro, I remember I used to like go, my first car I got, once I started making like a high job, was a little Camaro. And I remember even now I was stressing over the payment, bro. I was like, what the fuck, bro? My mom had to help me with the insurance and all that shit and whatever. I go to the dealership and I sat in it. Like when I bought the Camaro, I sat in a Corvette and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was tripping. I was like, I don't want a 30 yet. They were asking me for a test drive. I'm like, no, I don't want to test drive, whatever, crash it. And now I drive it. Feels like a Toyota to me, bro. It just feels normal. It feels like, okay, I'm the guy in this car. I already feel like I'm the guy in the Lambo. So I'm driving the car and I'm like, you know what I mean? Whereas before I was like, when I first drove it off the lot, I was like, oh shit. And now it's like, it's normal, you know what I mean? So definitely as you grow and you transform into a person, it's like, you always want to be one step ahead of your goal. So now you're in the Corvette, you're already envisioning, you're in the Lambo. You feel like that person, always one step ahead.
What do you say to the guy, you know, there's a lot of haters, a lot of negativity. What do you say to the guy that's like, you know, when you make money, it's stupid. A car's a depreciating asset. Like, what do you say to that dude, bro?
Just make more money, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you were making $50K a month, you wouldn't care about a $2,000, $3,000 car payment. When you're making $5K a month, okay, then bro, go get a mortgage. That's an appreciating asset, right? It's appreciating. You know, it's not appreciating your income. So yeah, go for it, bro.
It's a depreciating asset, but I appreciate the fuck out of it. People don't understand. It's like when you're getting to the point where you're buying $500,000 cars, the last fucking thing I'm worried about is it losing money. I'm balling. What the fuck do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's not about that shit. So yeah, bro, people say it's a depreciating asset, but a lot of people don't understand marketing as well. Where a nice car, a C8, a Lambo, anything like that is going to make you significantly more money than any other investment if you're in the game of online coaching and personal branding because your perceived value is now raised. You're now seen as higher ticket. Before I had anything nice, I was the same me before all the cool things. Same exact me, but nobody listened. People were like, some people would listen, some people wouldn't. I was still making good money with fitness programs. But I noticed when I started investing into lifestyle, when I started investing in a personal brand and how my page looked in the theme, bro, people started listening. It wasn't to flex. It was so they would listen. You know what I mean? Like everything that we're given, the cars, the nice life, even the girl, those are all tools. Those are tools that God gives you to push a certain message. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how God told Noah to build an ark on a smaller scale. I'm not comparing myself to any prophet or anything like that, but, give the example. Hey, listen, like get on this ark. I know there's some information coming. I'm going to use that to push a message. See, Jesus, hey, listen, I can walk on water. Look what I can do. This is a God-given skill. And I need you guys to follow my blueprint. That's the whole role of your job as a man. You know what I mean? So do you feel like, how does it feel to inspire young men, bro?
The best feeling in the world, bro. I already vision myself a few years from now. I've always wanted to be like a keynote speaker, like a guy Johan, you know what I'm saying? So the best thing in the world, a lot of people think, as you make money, it's all like, yeah, I got tens of thousands of dollars going in the bank every month. Bro, it's not even about that, bro. It's about how many, I don't look at, when you do high ticket, right, it's a small group of people that you're serving. It's about how many lives can I change this month? It stops being about how many tens of thousands I can make. No, it's how many lives can I change this month? How many young men can I transform their life and get them to where they want to be? Right now, so many men feel trapped. They're depressed. They're like, how do I get out of this? Me being the solution, me being like the light, it's the best feeling in the world, bro.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. I'll see celebrities online and somebody will come up to them and they'll be like, not right now, and this, that. I pray, knock on wood, but I hope I never get to that point, bro. I love it when kids come up and like, yo, Vincent Fischer. I was walking with my girl in the mall yesterday. There was like a whole car of dudes and they're like, yo, Vincent Fischer. I'm like, yo, what's going on, bro? I've gotten to the point now, bro, I pretty much get recognized like every time I go out like 3 times a day, bro, which is awesome. And it's for the right reason, right? It's not for no OnlyFans sports betting bullshit. Like people, it's different to be known by somebody and it's different for them to look up to you and go like, bro, you inspired me. Like part of the reason I moved to Miami, bro, I would watch your stuff. Like that's the best thing in the world. And that's fulfilling at the end of the day because a lot of people make money in fields that they're not fulfilled by. And like I won't even give examples of industries, but imagine you weren't doing something that made you look like a role model and people still knew you. I think that's where people get to the point where they're like, fuck, I don't like this attention at all and this, that. But yeah, bro, I want to talk about strategy though. Like you talked about high ticket a little bit. Did you ever do low ticket?
No, I never did low ticket because the thing is a lot of guys in general, they waste time, right? They waste time because they don't get a mentor. They don't get someone to show them, right? So they go and they try to do it themselves. But I tried to do coaching myself from August until around December. Most I made was $1,500, which is a bunch of monthly, recurring. I was like, that shit doesn't work. I see you. I've been following you on TikTok, bro. I've been Vincent Fischer. I've been following you since you started on TikTok. And I'm like, damn, this tall ass motherfucker. I got. First of all, I got to look up to him because how tall he is. Second of all, I got to look up to him because look where he's at. And I'm like, you know what, bro? Let me go ahead and reach out. Pranav got me on. Boom, we got on. Boom. Like now, instead of me struggling making $1,500, it became $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000, and now it's $50,000. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it all stems from finding someone to follow. And you're gonna, how many people are following their parents? No, bro. Follow the role model. Follow the guys where you want to be, and it's that simple.
So take it back, bro. Were you nervous when you first invested in self-development? Were you like, oh, shit, like let me see what this is, like?
100%, bro. I had to get money borrowed, you know what I mean? Not credit. I was literally just turned 18, so it was no credit. It was just cash. I was a little bit not stressing because I believe in myself, but I was definitely nervous. And what I realized is, what's the consequence? What else happens? If I don't do anything, I'm gonna go to school and be average. I was willing to take the risk, even if it was a 10-figure investment. I'm gonna take the risk because what else changes? Nothing changes. If the only a lot of guys ask, what's the guarantee? Well, the guarantee is if you stay where you're doing, you're gonna have the same car, same bank account, same girlfriend, same situation. Whereas if you take that leap of faith, if you want to call it that, you're going to be successful. It's only a matter of time.
That's awesome, bro. And at every single level too, bro, you can keep growing. And like I've had levels, bro, where I've invested $50,000, $100,000 into mentors, and I've had a pretty decent life. Like I'm talking about, I got a Lambo, I got a Rolls Royce, you know what I mean? And I'll give somebody a 6-figure check to teach me stuff, and I'm willing to lose everything I've built before that to get to the next level. That's why it's so rare to see 1%ers. You won't find somebody that's willing to give up the Lambo, the Rolls Royce, potentially your girlfriend's respect for you, your mom having to work again, just to get to an even higher level. You know what I mean? So like, Like you said, I've never had an off switch. You know, like I knew too, bro, nowadays it's so easy to invest in self-development because there's credit, bro. Like a lot of dudes are like quivering and they're like, oh, you know, self-development, this is that. Bro, what's the worst that happen? An imaginary score you don't use because you don't have the income to buy a house. You don't have the income to buy a car you want. That imaginary number is going to go down. That's your worst fear. And the other side of that is you working the same job the rest of your life and being miserable and want to shoot yourself in the head. Bro, come on. You know what I mean? It's like, how bad do you want it? That's really all it comes down to at the end of the day. A lot of people think they want it, but they aren't willing to go through the trials and tribulations in between to actually get the end result. So what kept you going, bro? Because everybody has these little failures. You know, you tried coaching before, you made $1,500 in a month, and then you're like, fuck, this isn't enough. What kept you going, though?
Honestly, tunnel vision, like tunnel vision. Like I remember I had a list of goals beginning of this year. You told me, like, yo, make a list of your goals. I'm like, okay, I made a list of my goals. And the C8 was like end of the year. I got the shit January. I had the moving out to high rise. I thought I was gonna do it with a roommate. Did that shit June by myself. Not only did I do it by myself, I got the best 1x1 in Brickell. But it all stemmed from not having an off button, and it all stemmed from becoming that person internally, bro. There's a book, I'm not gonna drop it, I can't give all the sauce for free, but I read that book, bro. I read that book every single day. I read like 3 chapters, and I literally just notate every single paragraph deep, and I go into it. Bro, that book changed my life. That book really got me to where I'm at, because a lot of people, they want to be rich, but they don't invest. They skip steps. You can't skip steps. Self-development is key. Self-development at every level, bro. I could be in a Lambo right now, but it's like, nah, bro. I gotta throw my dog Vince. I gotta throw other guys cash to learn how to get to that next level. Where so many people, they're at the bottom, and what else gonna happen? You're gonna keep being broke. Like, invest and get higher, bro. It's that simple.
Yeah, bro. I think it's crazy because you know how there's like physique inflation, like in the gym scene, you see people getting more and more jacked. Bro, there's like financial inflation now where you see 19-year-olds like you, 21-year-olds like me, and it's like, bro, it's getting more and more difficult. Like there's people with bigger and bigger balls coming up at younger ages. Like even Flynn's 17. You know, he made $10,000 yesterday. He made $70,000 in the last 3 weeks, and he's on track to a 6-figure month at 17, bro. So like, I love seeing all the young cats just fucking killing it. But like, a lot of people hate on them too. You know, a lot of guys like in my shoes too, and they'll be like, oh, you know, the young guys are stupid and they spend this. I'm like, stop fucking hating, bro. You know what I mean? Like when I first touched a little bit of money, I blew all that shit too. And it's self-development, it's character development. How else are you gonna learn? If you go from the absolute bottom to having something, of course you're gonna fucking blow it on. You're gonna fuck it up, and then you're gonna sit down and you're like, fuck, let me analyze. Okay, I'm not gonna spend on fucking $5,000 shades I don't need. I'm not gonna do this and that. Bro, I've sat down with guys like Flynn and talked about this. I'm like, bro, why'd you buy $5,000 buffs? He's like, bro, they just fucking look cool and this. But that's what you gotta learn, bro. You make money, you spend it stupid as hell. You make money, you spend it less stupid. You make money and you spend it less and less stupid. And then you reach, you know, financial freedom. There's no other way to financial freedom outside of getting rich, though. So many people have this goal of like, bro, if I could just scrape by and this, that. I ask people, I'm like, what's your goal? I have a car payment, and, you know, if I could just, you know, make same amount as my job. I'm like, that's not a fucking goal. That's not a goal at all. That's like a just bare minimum. What's your goal? What do you want? Not what you think you can get. What do you want? Then look, oh man, well, I don't want to be, you know, obviously I want to be as humble as possible. So many limiting beliefs, bro. They've been absolutely hypnotized to believe that being rich is evil. That's what they do to you. Like everybody at the bottom where I'm from in Arizona, I'd be driving my I-8 down the street at that time, and I'd see like graffiti on the wall, and it'd say, kill the rich. But what they don't understand is the best thing the rich could do is give you that mentality where you think being financially successful is bad. That's how they keep you trapped. You know, don't focus on the money, bro. Just remember, be humble. You remember, keep, you know. Bro, they say all these things to keep people indoctrinated. Like it's a mental prison. They make them fight against each other. It's blacks versus whites. You know what I mean? It's Democrats versus Republicans. There's this new shit going on. It's like Trump tweeted this and then Elon's going back and forth. Like, how the fuck does that change my life? How the fuck does that change my life at all? You know what I mean? It's like the only thing we can focus on is things that we can control. Everything else is to get you lost, to keep you indoctrinated. The sports teams, this sports team playing that sports team. You know, this political party is that political party. Bro, it doesn't fucking change my life. I don't even care. You know, they'd tell me in school, they'd be like, your vote matters and this, that. I inherently knew my vote didn't fucking matter. And I'd watch my mom at the dinner table like, you know, well, Obama and, you know, Trump, and she'd be back and forth. I'm like, I just kind of knew. I'm like, this low-key some bullshit. Because you got to think, we're like younger people, so we've been on our phones our entire lives, and we've seen so much stuff that we almost have a sixth sense where it's like, okay, I know if this is fabricated, if this is not. And I kind of looked at it like a puppet show. You know what I mean? It's like, well, let's keep people trapped. Let's keep people at the bottom. And then once you wake up, though, and you snap, and you realize the only person that's going to save me, is me, bro, that's when everything changes. You know what I mean? So do you watch sport? Like, success isn't just about what you do. A lot of it's what you don't do. Like, talk about what you don't do that other people do that allowed you to become successful.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about what I used to do and what I don't do now. So, bro, I'll be real, I'll be open, bro. Like, I used to wake up every morning, sad. First thing I do, like everybody else, beat the fucking meat, right? Beat my meat, right? Then I'm there scrolling on social media for like an hour, bro. I'm watching reels about these people being successful, all this shit. I'm watching TV shows all day. I'm binge watching all these shows, bro. I'm playing video games. And I'm like, why the fuck am I watching success? And I watch sports too. I love MMA. I did MMA for like 5 years. I'm seeing all these MMA fighters, and so I'm seeing McGregor, I'm seeing all these guys, and I'm like, bro, these people are rich, and I'm here gooning out, oh my God, he knocked them out. Bro, you're knocking yourself out, bro. Your future, your life is cooked, right? These guys are, everyone go, oh shit, he just knocked him out. I'm like, bro, you're fucking broke. Like, you're knocking yourself out, right? So you need to focus on making more money and becoming successful. Why are you watching all other people's success? Focus on your success. Instead of gooning out other people's success, goon out when you make your first 2K sale, first 10K sale. Goon out on yourself. So yeah, I don't believe in like the whole fanboy shit. I don't do that, bro.
Yeah. I used to do that shit too, bro. I used to watch the Golden State Warriors versus the Cavaliers. I'm like, yo, Kyrie pulled up with a 3, you know, Curry, this is that. LeBron James block. Bro, you're blocking your own success. Why aren't you just focused on growing and building? Instead of being a side character in your own life, and you're cheering another man on and wearing his jersey, why not become the main character, bro? And it's not going to start to where you're on TV overnight, but it's small wins. You know what I mean? Like, you show up, you got into the gym, that's a small win. You know, you had some financial success, you made your first $20 sale, whatever, that's a small win. And you stack these over time, and then you build an ununderstandable, you build a crazy level of self-confidence. Like, people don't understand that winners, like purebred winners, don't start out with the mentality of nothing can stop me. You just don't. But you stack up over time, and eventually you're that guy, bro. Even me, I was fucking beating my meat. I was watching porn, and I'm like, bro, I'm watching another man get cheeks. Like that's all I'm really doing. And when I realized that shit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get that shit myself. I'm watching another man become successful. Jeff Bezos passed. Elon Musk currently at the world's richest man. Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Self-focus. Block out all the distractions. Focus on yourself. Like I said, a lot of things I didn't do too. I never really liked to party much. I did before, and I was like, this ain't my thing. Smoking, I used to fucking smack a wax pen. I was like, fuck that shit. A lot of people give you lies. They'll say, well, it helps me focus, bro. It helps you focus on being broke. You know what I mean? Put the fucking wax pen down, use the pain that you have, and build the best you. All you're doing when you're turning to things like smoking, drinking, you're escaping a reality you don't enjoy, and you're numbing the pain. But that pain is the exact fuel that you need to build the greatest you and a successful future. You know what I mean? So as soon as you let go of the bullshit and you go, okay, this stuff is no longer serving me, you're able to grow. Every single vice, every single temptation that you have, God gives you the strength to overcome it. It's biblical. You know what I mean? And that's a choice at that point, where you can either put the things down, you can sacrifice for what you want, or what you want becomes a sacrifice. You know what I mean? So, hell yeah, bro. Let's, I want to, how are we on time? Okay, we got 15 minutes left, bro. So I want to recap too, bro. Like, let's talk about the vices. You know, what took you from fucking jacking off, scrolling reels, etc., to being successful? How did you break out of that trap, bro?
It definitely goes back to your why. Like, why do you do things, right? So many people, their why is like, oh, I want a nice car and I want a nice house. No, bro. My why was, bro, I'm seeing my mom come home every single day. She's dead tired. She doesn't even have time to cook dinner. She's dying tired. She's apologizing to me. Oh, I'm so sorry, son. I couldn't cook dinner. I was so tired. I worked 14 hours. And I'm like, bro, I can't keep living this life. I can't keep seeing my mom slaving away at a job that pays her shit pay. Fuck, she making $4,000 a month. The fuck is that, bro? I can make that in a day. And I knew I had the potential to do that. So that's what got me to break these vices, like jacking off, scrolling on social media, drinking. I quit all that shit, bro. You know what I mean? I've also seen how alcohol has affected people in my family. So once you cut all that out, it only stems from what is your why. If you're doing it for a nice car, you're going to stay being broke. If you're doing it for your family, if you're doing it for the people who took care of you when you were young, your mom raised you for 18 years plus. For you to be jacking off on your fucking phone while she's slaving away at a job, no, bro. It's up to you, bro. You're the man. You gotta save them.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, bro. Yeah, I remember my mom would come home from work and there'd be like a fork in the sink. And she'd be like, why is there a fork in the damn sink and this, that? And I never understood it. Like, what's her problem? Shit, her problem is her life, and there's no male role model or a leader that can financially provide. So I need to become that. Same thing with the lights. when you leave a room, turn the lights on. You know, you hear shit like that. Turn the sink off and this, that. I know how somebody's raised by if they do those little things. Bro, my girl would fucking leave the sink on for 3 fucking years, and I have the same exact fucking thing from my mom. I'm like, turn the sink off when the sink is there. She's like, you just made 50,000 today. Why does it matter? I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter, but turn the sink off. You know what I mean? Like, these are just things that you hear. So yeah, bro, like, you got to find your why. That's the moral of the story. Everybody's why is different too. My why, I wanted to take care of my mom. I also wanted nice shit at the same time. You know what I mean? I also wanted to prove everyone wrong at the same time. But if you can collectively use all those things, proving people wrong, wanting nice things, wanting to take care of your family, bro, it's like fucking 3 times the amount of fucking pressure. You know what I mean? And that just propels you to grow, bro. But how did your mom feel? You sent your mom 3,000, bro. What was her response, bro?
She was like, oh, send it back. Nah, I was like, Mom, like, I got you, bro. Like, don't worry about it. She's like, but what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, Mom, I just made $10,000 today. Like, it's okay. You can take the money. She's like, what? But what are you talking about? Mom, to take the money. And I told her, I said, listen, this is going to keep coming every single month. Next month's going to be 5. But I want you working any more overtime, bro. I swear. I have her boss's number. I said, bro, if I call your boss and you working overtime, bro, I'm gonna make you quit, bro. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna retire you, but give me a few more months. But you gotta take this money, bro. I don't care. Yeah. She's like, no. She sent it back to me. I just pulled up to the house, bro. It's a long ass drive from here to Brick all the way where my mom lives, and I just put 3K on the table, dipped. So yeah. She just doesn't believe it, bro. Yeah,
that's awesome, bro. Before I moved out of my mom's house, she was telling me, she's like, in 3 years, if I keep working this job, I get security benefits, and they pay me $3,000 a month until I retire, and this is that. And I had a thought in my head. I was like, I already know that $3,000 a month in 3 years of my time is going to be absolutely nothing, bro. Fast forward, I think we made like $1.1 million in the last 60 days, and I send my mom money every single month. It's like, you have to bet on your own appreciation. You know what I mean? You can't bet on Bitcoin growing. You can't bet on the fucking IRA, the S&P 500 growing. I always knew my rate of growth was quicker than anything that I could buy. You know what I mean? Like, it's exponential. Why do we say invest in self-development and not invest in like stocks and shit like that, bro? It's because if you're in the flipping game, I have $100. I'm going to turn this $100 account into a $10,000 account. Bro, why not? Like, if you're at $100 and that's what you have, you got to do the fucking physical labor and the skill set building shit first. Get a job in sales, make $100 a day, and now you're multiplying like that. It's only at the bigger amounts of money that you start investing and multiplying. You know what I mean? Like, my mentality, honestly, bro, like, this is fucking crazy on film. People are like, this dude's stupid. Bro, before $1 million a month, which I'm not even at yet. You know what I mean? Like, this month we're going to smack it, but before $1 million a month, I was like, I'm not investing. Fuck that shit. It's not enough money. For $100,000 a month, I was like, fuck no. Fuck am I going to do a $50,000 a month? I've sat down and played the compound interest calculator game. And if I invest $1,000 by the time I'm 60, and then I thought, I don't want to be 60 years old, not being able to get out of a Lambo because my knees fucking hurt. It's like, I want to be young and rich. And the young and rich and successful people that I saw, they had an extreme amount of income and cash flow, which is king. And they used that cash flow after that to invest in their business first. And then once they made like 8 figures, then they invested in other things like the real estate and et cetera. That's the formula to growth and wealth. But a lot of people try to skip the income step and they lie. And they say, well, if you buy one Section 8 house, come on, dog. You're not going to fucking buy a Section 8 house, make $100 a month, and reach financial freedom. No, you're going to have crazy-ass income, and then you buy a bunch of Section 8, you buy a bunch of units, you buy a fucking apartment complex, and now you're building wealth. You know what I mean? That's just something that I always knew, but a lot of it's a marketing aspect, too. You know, if I had a real estate program, of course I'm going to fucking say, yo, it's as easy as one Airbnb, bro, and this is that, bro. Airbnb, come on, bro. Like, I've had certain mentors that were busy as fuck, but not really making a crazy ass amount of money. I thought it was crazy at the time. Like, they'd be on phone calls, and then I'm like, oh shit, he's doing $60,000 a month. What the fuck? But now $60,000 a month is like achievable. You know, how's your schedule like? You're making $50,000 a month now. Are you busy throughout the day? Like, you have free time? Like, explain that.
Bro, listen, I don't even have the full team built out yet. We're in early stages, but nah, bro. I got a guy responding to messages for me. Then I do the call, bro. But the thing is that the sooner you go higher ticket, the more you make money. People think like, oh, well, if I sell $100 program, bro, 10K a month, you need like hundreds of people. Like, you need so many people. Whereas if I'm selling a 10K, it's one person. 20K, one person. Like, it's easy to simplify, right? How do you do this? By providing more value. See a lot of guys, they sell a 2K program. I've seen in the industry, I'm not gonna call it names. Their service sucks. There's no value, bro. There's no value. It's nothing. If you, for example, you can charge 50K. Some guys, like the big guys in the industry, like Andy Elliott, Daniel G, they charge crazy, right? No, it's not crazy because you get the one-on-one attention from people running 7-figure companies, deep 7 figures.
9, bro. 9.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those dudes 9. Yeah.
So bro, the sooner you go higher ticket, you'll live a higher ticket life. But if you keep thinking hourly, how many hours can I work to make 10,000? Like, bro, you're gonna be slaving 80 hours a week at a trade job. You know what I mean? So definitely you have to provide a service, and then the income's gonna come with that.
Yeah, bro. That's one thing I love, bro. I've been in the internet space probably like 4 or 5 years now. First 2 years fitness, the last 3 years consulting, or last 2 years, something like that. Anyways, bro, I've helped over 1,000 people build online coaching businesses and succeed. And out of all the hate videos they make about me, not one of them has substance. Not one of them says, I tried this and this, that, and this dude fucked me up. People that haven't bought are talking. Every person in our community, you, Flynn, I probably collectively moved out over 50 people to Miami in the past year, bro. And all the people in our community, they don't have shit to say. The only way to not succeed is if you don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand that about success. Nothing works unless you work. If you don't work, absolutely nothing you can do is work. I could fucking tell you every single way. I could give you the blueprint at every single angle. If you don't work, though, it's not going to work. If you have the limited beliefs, though, and you think, what if this goes wrong? And you have a pessimistic mindset, it's not going to work. If you're not willing to make the posts and do the effort and build your team and follow the structures and the SOPs I give you, bro, you're not going to succeed. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's up to you. A lot of people think that somebody's going to come hold their hand to success. No, they'll give you the steps, but it's up to you to walk. You know what I mean? That's how success kind of goes, bro. And as much as I had help along the way, bro, even you, bro, as much as you had help and mentors along the way, I say that everybody is self-made. You know what I mean? Because you took the steps. You did what was required. Nobody can do that stuff for you. Like, that's the secret to everything, bro. But hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah, it's fucking crazy. How do you feel? Like, sometimes, you ever, be honest, bro. I remember when I first moved to Solitaire, bro, I'd be sitting on the balcony just fucking looking at the view feeling like Batman, bro. You ever feel like, you ever just look over there, you're like, damn, I made this shit happen. Like, your headphones in.
Yeah, like I'd be, some people, they close their blinds when they're sleeping in their apartment. I'm like, nah, bro. I got the best 1x1 that I have here. That shit's going up. I want to see the city lights. It ain't bothering me, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the city vibrate. I wake up to get water at like 4 a.m. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I live here, bro. But it's like, you have to earn your stripes in everything in life, right? When you start off, what value do you give a millionaire, a guy making 50, 100K a month? What value do you give this guy? The little bit of money you have. Your credit score, help him out. Well, you paid, okay. But it's always at a different level. Like, for example, when I got the opportunity to be part of 6-Figure Fitness, right? It didn't just come to me. I earned my stripes, bro. Not only that, so many people are so egotistical. Like, oh, I know everything. Bro, if you knew everything, you wouldn't be broke. I knew I didn't know everything. So there's always tears, bro. I'm constantly, Vince knows, I'm constantly giving him money for something new, but it's like, that's what's going to get me to the next level, bro. You know what I mean? And it's also, as you earn your stripes, you earn respect. I'll be real. When I started as a partner, bro, I didn't have that crazy following, but you believed in me as well as I believed in myself because I had earned my stripes. So how do you expect successful people to give you handouts and they can help you out as much as you want? You need to help yourself out. You need to put in the work and you need to earn your stripes. That goes for anything in life, bro.
Yeah, we have a rule too. Anybody who's a partner, bro, have to make at least 5 figures a month, bro. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people be like, oh, Vince, you run a pyramid scheme and this, that. No, bro. Like, if I were to run a pyramid scheme, I'd get you on and I'd teach you how to sell what I sell. No, I get you on, I teach you how to sell your own offer. If I see you succeed with that over a certain period of time, then we're going to have a talk. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, let's bring this shit next level. But, bro, I mean, what allowed you, even through the doubts, even through the failures, even through people saying you couldn't do it, like, what allowed you to fucking, I know I asked this before, but what allowed you to keep going mentally, bro? Because, be honest, there had to be some times where it's like, fuck, bro, is this shit going to work? Is it not going to work? Like, was it mainly just the mom, or was there another aspect, bro?
I think for me, like, I say it's the mom. My mom's the main driving factor, but I feel like, man, prove people wrong, man. Like, I never had that father figure. I had him financially, but not emotionally, man. Yeah. And it's like, it kind of goes deep, but definitely, like, man, my future kids, bro. I don't want my future kids to have a shitty role model. But I don't want my future kids to see their dad in just a Corvette. Like, for example, when I first got the Corvette, it was pretty tight, bro. It was all my money on the car. I don't want my kids having a guy who has a Corvette, but it's all the money's going to the car. No, man. I want my kids to have, from now to then, bro, a supercar for every day of the week. I want my son, bro, I don't care what my girlfriend, so we've been dating for like 3 years. If my son wants to drop out and follow your footsteps, my footsteps, and start his online business, I'm going to support it. And I want to be able to take care of my future kids, regardless of everyone that doubted me, my family, proving people wrong, and then making sure I want my kids' kids to be taken care of. I want generational wealth, and I'm the start of that. So definitely, I blocked out the noise, and it was made everything personal. I made this year personal, and I think I'm doing pretty good so far. So yeah.
Yeah, that's solid as hell, bro. I feel like every single year you become a more authentic version of yourself. It's all about self-realization, bro. I've been the guy that spent all his money on cars. You know what I mean? I've stayed there. That's a phase that you really can't skip. I mean, some people skip it, some people don't. But you got to start out stupid money first, bro. People laugh at that. But you learn your lessons along the way. I've had times too, bro. When I first bought, I got the same shit as you. I was like, fuck, bro, business is slow. What the fuck? We're gonna have to trade the car in. But you keep going. You know what I mean? You keep going, then you grow. Okay, now I am the man that has this car. Now you're the dude that has the C8, but you consistently make $50,000 a month. Then you want to upgrade. It's like, okay, cool. Let me get a Lambo. Let me see what's going on here. Boom, you upgrade. You know what I mean? Then you may not fully be the person yet, but you stay there. It's like increasing the weight on the bar, bro. It's like I always say that when you hit your first 10,000 a month, bro, 135 on bench. When you hit your first 100,000 a month, 225, bro. When you hit your first million a month, that's fucking 315. Then you see the guys doing 405 and 5 whatever, and it's crazy shit. But you got to keep putting more weight on the bar. You got to keep growing. You know what I mean? Whatever aspect you do that with. I think that's the beautiful part, bro. I think that's the whole meaning of life. It's not just about the money. It's not about the nice things. It's not about any of that, bro. It's about growing. It's about becoming a more competent male. It's about making life your bitch, bro. Like, that's all it is at the end of the day. Like, every single day I wake up more and more, I'm like, damn, I'm making this shit easier. You know, I've built the systems and et cetera, and I'm gonna continue building that, you know, until I'm satisfied, until we decease. I mean, what's the point of life outside of that? If you aren't growing, you're gonna be depressed. The cure to depression, progression, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, how are we on time? 5 more minutes, bro. We're chilling. Cool. But yeah, I mean, number one thing on that aspect, you have any questions? You want me to throw you like a curveball?
Go ahead, throw me a curveball.
Bro, tell me the personal stories. Tell me the personal story of people doubting you, though.
Okay, I don't get into names, but definitely people told me like, oh, this guy has dreams of a millionaire. Same thing with my brother. I actually went all in, bro. I was like, oh, I have dreams of a millionaire? Okay, you're going to see me on Instagram. You're going to see me on Instagram being a millionaire. You know what I mean? People would say crazy shit, bro. They'd be like, you know, they go deep and they'd be like, oh, Andy, he spent all his money on his car. Oh, Andy, bro, he's going to be behind everybody, bro. He's going to go back to school. All these crazy shit, man. I go to the house and I'd hear people talking about me. Like, I'm literally in the house and they're like, oh, look, Andy, look, you saw his new car, bro. He spent all his money on it. Now I'm like, yeah, you see my Brickell high-rise, you see my C8. I can't wait till you see a Lambo in a few months, right? So it's like, yeah, bro. I always proving people wrong, bro. Like, that's what's up, bro.
Bro, I had people say that too. You know, there's a guy that moved to Miami. You know, he spent all his money on cars and this, that. Every single day I make him look more and more stupid. Every day. And that's what gives me pleasure. It's not about winning. It's seeing them lose. You know what I mean? Like, that's an aspect of it too, bro. When I see everybody that doubted me and said I wouldn't be shit, proving them wrong every single day makes me more and more happy. And eventually, like you said, you stop hearing shit. Where'd they go? You know what I mean? They'll always have something new to say, and then they just disappear. They quiet out. They don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? That's the thing that satisfies me, bro. And I think every single man to some degree is built to conquer, bro. You're built to conquer. You're built to prove people wrong. And I love that shit, bro. I don't know if it's ego or what it is. I absolutely love it because I wouldn't be as far if I wasn't hearing things like that. You wouldn't be as far if you weren't hearing things like that. If you weren't hearing that he spent his money on his car, he's going to have to give it back soon, would you be where you are now? Probably not as quick. Not as quick at all. You know what I mean? That's what propels me. But one day you're going to see, Andy, like, I've gone through the route of proving people wrong so long to where nobody talks. Oh, nobody talks. And then it's like, fuck, now I got to find a different type of motivation, which is just self-realization. I'm just going to compete against myself then. I'm going to be better than I was yesterday. If people watching this, if you look at somebody like Andy or me right away, you may be like, oh, how is he there? Bro, we just competed against ourselves. That's all we can do. You know, okay, this was me yesterday. I'm going to show up today. I'm going to work harder. This is me yesterday. I'm going to show up today. I'm going to get more shit done. I'm going to build more systems and et cetera. And eventually, fucking rate of growth is just insane, bro. You know what I mean? Your goal is $100,000 a month by when?
Bro, I like to say, like, I like to shoot for the stars and I land the moon. I want 100K this month, bro.
Yeah.
I said it. If I don't make at least, bro, if I don't make at least 100, I'm gay, bro. Like, that's the type of shit I said in the chat. But it's true, bro. That's the mindset you gotta have, because so many people, they set like these realistic goals, like, oh, I want a Camaro, I want a Mustang. No, bro, I said I want the Corvette. I remember I had a Camaro. It was in a dealership. They had to change parts and all that. So I said, fuck that. I came to the dealership a month later. I'm not waiting for the shit. And I bought the Corvette. Why? Was it comfortable? No. But it's like, but you have to shoot really far ahead, bro. And you know what? Most of the time, I actually exceed my expectations. If I say I make 100K this month, I might make it in the next 2 weeks. I don't fucking know. But I always exceed expectations. All the goals I set out for this year, I did it in half the time. Because it's just, you got to shoot for the stars, bro.
Yeah, and on camera shit too, bro. I've set goals and I fucking failed them for a year, bro. For a year, I said this to somebody in the gym. I was like, for a year, I was stuck at 100,000 a month. He's like, oh, Vince, you're stuck at 100,000. But for me, like, you know what I mean? It's about growing or dying. So I was like, fuck. Every single month, I told myself I'd do better than that. Boom, 100K. But one thing that winners have that other people don't is the ability to get back up with the same exact faith and belief every single month. I did that 12 months in a row, bro. And I went, I'm going to hit this, fucking came short. I'm going to hit this again, I came short. I'm going to hit this again. Same thing early on in my journey, bro. I tried so many different business models, bro. Drop shipping, day trading, everything you get to Amazon, FBA, e-commerce, reselling. And I failed, and I got back up with the same exact belief, the same exact faith. And then eventually, you crack the code, bro. So many people, they let their faith die, bro. They give up on the entrepreneurial game in general. These are the people you see under Instagram comments. They're gonna go, oh, well, you know, he has this car and this is that. They gave up on the game. They know that their inaction is, you know, something that you don't have, and you kept going, and it's an insecurity, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine you're seeing people play this game and they're winning, and you don't see the behind the scenes of how many times they failed and got back up, and you just see them winning. You're gonna go, man, fuck that guy. The problem isn't with you. The problem's with success, bro. I did fitness for a long time, and nobody really hated me as much as they did when I started showing a nicer lifestyle, when I started showing nicer things. And I realized, oh shit, I'm not even the problem. You could give any character or any example of somebody that's financially successful at a young age, and they're gonna hate them too. So it's not even personal, bro. Like, when you're on a mission, bro, the number one sign that you're actually going somewhere is getting hate. That's the number one thing, bro. You know what I mean? So I love the hate, bro. I used to get really affected and offended by it. I don't know what it is. I think I just made too much fucking money. You wake up, you see 50,000, 60. I just stopped caring, bro. I don't know why. I just stopped caring about it, bro. But yeah, bro, it's awesome. But hell yeah, Andy, I want to wrap this up, bro. So like, where can they follow you, bro?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be Andy.Diaz.3. That's my Instagram, bro. But yeah, bro, follow for motivation. We're gonna turn this shit up this year, bro. Let's
hell yeah, let's get it. You guys can follow me too, Vincent Fischer _. Let's get it.